Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for, what is it, December 5th, 2021. So, November was a month. I survived it, and into December so far. We'll see how this goes. Things have just been so crazy with things at work, with being bought out, and the transition we're going through right now is just, we don't know what we can or can't do or how they want things, and then they're not sure who's going to stay in what positions. So I'm all stressed out about that. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have the same job here in another couple months. I don't know how this is going. They're saying everybody gets to keep their job, keep a job. They're just not sure what job we'll do. So I'm a little concerned. Not gonna lie. It's just been a lot of stuff happened this last week. As you know, I finished Nanowrimo. I did win on the last day. I think I came home from work. I had I think I wrote 2,000 words that night, and I finished. I was trying to catch up all weekend because I had taken I had only written 100 to 400 words over the whole Thanksgiving time when I was with my family. So that was 4 days, and so I had to catch up. I was quite a bit behind on the weekend. I got really far ahead. Monday I didn't do quite as much as I wanted, but I got close enough for Tuesday for me to finish it out, and I'm really glad I got that done. Again, I did not write a novel. I wrote a lot of just starts of stories, and I wrote one, I would say I wrote one complete novella. But that was, I think, well, another one was really close. I kind of left a gap or two in the story, but that I'd have to go back and write. But I think I did pretty well. I didn't write what I normally write. I wrote a lot more contemporary stuff, which is hilarious because I don't read it. But it was easier for me than coming up with fantasy stuff on the fly, because I was pantsing the whole thing. So if you know what pantsing is, again, that's when you're just making stuff up as you go. And again, I hadn't written in a year since last Nano. When I stopped. So I just hadn't, this year though, this coming year, writing is going to be again a part of my life, and because I just adored writing. That first couple weeks was just, it was so great to be writing again. Again, I did kind of fall off the wagon, but then I hadn't written in so long that I was kind of getting burnt out there during Thanksgiving, and I use that as my excuse. But I do want to get back to it. I did take this weekend off, but next weekend I'm planning to set aside time and try to get back to writing. I'm not sure I'm going to write during the week right now. It's going to be probably a weekend thing for me, but for me it's just fun. And anyway, I just want to say that that went well, and I'm going to sorry about that. So then a lot of things, as I said, work is going crazy. So, and then I had the windows done, replaced on the duplex that my brother and I own together. So I was here for Monday when they started, and they were done late Wednesday night. They stayed late to get the last of it done because, and they look fantastic. I am so pleased with the windows. We still need to get somebody to come paint the trim, because again, they put the trim back on, but they had to patch the, where the nails go. So now there's little white spots in all my dark blue trim, and and also some of the boards broke. So because we have a couple windows up top, and my brother and I do not have ladders or are not good with heights, I'm probably gonna have to hire somebody here pretty soon. So anyway, that's a whole another thing I have to do. And I had to put a down payment for a new roof this week. So it's been a week for the house. We'll get the new roof sometime in January, but there's no choice. We're not, it's not bad to that point, but we were going to make some changes, or, we thought to extend the roof life, but no, it would cost too much to do that and not get a new roof. So it was just more feasible. Anyway, so let's just say money is flying out the door that I didn't plan on it. But oh well, that's kind of how that goes. We didn't do a couple projects on the house in the last couple of years. So again, the windows were supposed to be this year, and then the roof I was thinking another year or two, but yeah, that didn't happen. Anyway, so again, my brother and I are doing what we have to. It's not fun stuff. So anyway, I have rambled a lot here. That was kind of like a life update. I've had a week. Let me just tell you, it was a long week, and I made it through. So my reading is all over the place, and I'm not gonna, it's just not been what I expected it to. I am only, as I said, on my TBR, the only firm things are the things I'm reading in the Kate Daniels world. that I'm reading with Tia and all the books. So those are the only books I have to read this month because I want to finish that series. So those are going to be the only thing. Everything else, hey, if I get it done, I'm excited. I have taken off, kind of said, okay, I always tell myself, and you know, I'm gonna finish all this stuff that I've started, and I'm gonna get through the. No, forget it. I'm gonna be mood reading. I can already tell today is. Yesterday I did it. I started. Pretty much this week I kind of plotted through because I had the buddy read to read, so I was okay. But I've DNF'd one book. I picked up a book I did not expect to pick up. 2 books I did not expect to pick up. 3. I take it back. It was 3. So you can see it was a really weird week. None of them were on my TBR except for the buddy read one. Anyway, so let's just go into it. So I am participating in Dickens read along. That on Instagram. I do it every year. I think this is my 3rd year. I think it's 3rd year. Anyway, and so what they do is they put up a schedule of like 3 or 4 stories that we're going to read, and we always read a Christmas Carol. So we'll read that later in the month, and it'll be again a reread. But so the first 3. Okay, there's 3 altogether. There's 3 new ones that I haven't read. The first one was a short story that read on Sunday last week, and that was Christmas Storms and Sunshine by Elizabeth Gaskell. So this is just a 14-page short story. I found it inside of one of her collections, The Gray Woman and Other Stories. So I just got it from one of the free copies on the Kindle. So this is a story about 2 families that live next door to each other who or live in the same building. And they do not get along. They have very different politics, but something happened a long time ago that they, that someone pissed off somebody else kind of thing. And then this Christmas comes and things just kind of go wrong for both of them for different little things. But it's showing how petty people can be when they think they don't like somebody or why they don't like somebody. And then it also shows how you can get past that and, when somebody else needs your help. And I think it was really well done. This was published in 1848, I believe, which is the same year that Mary Barton came out. So Elizabeth Gaskell, again, is a Victorian writer. So this book, I don't know what journal or which paper it came out in, but it was, one of those. It might have been Dickens. I'm not even sure. I forgot to check that. I really like this, and I like Elizabeth Gaskell. I've only read a couple of her novels. I need to read more of them. Mary Barton is one that I have started before, but I did not complete. Probably about 3 years ago. So I need to pick it up and read it. It was just not the time when I did pick it up. So I'm hoping in the next year to get more Elizabeth Gaskell done. I have all her novels. I want to read them all. Just haven't got to them. I've only read North and South and Cranford. So anyway, so this is a cute little short story. Christmas, as I said, Christmas Storms and Sunshine. It was not perfect. It was not great, but it was really well done and a lot of good nuances about people who have different political views getting along together. And I think it was really like kind of shows that was happening then as it happens now. So I did enjoy that. So I read that. And then on a whim, on Friday, I picked up Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. This is book 1 in the Howl's Moving Castle trilogy. And I listened to this on audio, which I forgot to write down my audiobook narrator. Sorry, I didn't do very good this time. This one, I bought the audio a little while ago, like on one of the $5 Audible sales. Because I did want to get back to this series because, again, I read the first 2 books, this one and Castle in the Sky, back in 2006 when the movie came out, the anime. And I love that movie. That is one of my favorite animes from Studio Ghibli. It is one of my favorite movies of all time, really. And there's just so much to it. And I read the book at the time, and I read the second one, and I didn't know there was a third one that came out later. And so I picked it up a couple of years ago, a while ago. I don't even know. It was probably a while ago. And I just never got back to this series to actually complete it. So this was one of the series when I was going through my shelves. I'm making lists of series that I want to try to complete. This was one that I had one more book, but I wanted to reread the first 2 books. So I had it on audio and I just picked it up on Friday. The audiobook that I was listening to, I just couldn't listen to it at the time, which I'll explain in a minute. But this was so good. The audiobook was really good. So I really enjoyed this. I listened to this and finished it yesterday. I listened to it a lot yesterday playing Animal Crossing. And when I had lunch and dinner, I think I listened to it. Anyway, it was so good. And it was, I remembered a lot of it, considering it was 2006 when I last read it. I remembered the differences from the movie to this, but not all of them. And I didn't remember how closely the movie followed this, because I did watch the movie last night, which is what I wanted to do. So I did enjoy watching that and seeing the differences again. I love them both for they're two different things. The book has a lot of things in it that are not a lot of things. I mean, there's certain themes and there's certain things that happen completely differently. Like, they made choices in the movie that, again, I can see from being a movie, you want to go that way, but I don't know. The book is really good. I think this is really good. I'm really looking forward to getting Castle in the Sky. I'm on hold next at my library for that copy. So I will probably listen to that when that comes through. And then hopefully I'll get to the last book, House of Many Ways, which I've never read. So anyway, as I said, I'm trying to look at my series more seriously, and I picked this up as a whim because I was thinking about it for some reason. And I'm like, oh, I have the audio. Let's just listen to that. And then, again, I got to watch the movie last night, which was fantastic, which again, I loved. So anyway, I did finish that. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. So that was a complete whim. So, okay, let's talk about the book I DNF'd. So this is kind of sad. So again, I am doing that Dickens December on Instagram. Again, I read the first book. The second book was Christmas at Thompson Hall and Other Christmas Stories by Anthony Trollope. We were only reading Christmas at Thompson Hall. I got 38 pages out of a 61-page short story, and I DNF'd this. It was just too absurd for me. So we're following Mr. and Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown's family has Christmas at Thompson Hall, and she's been told that she really needs to come this year because she has not come for many years since her marriage. I think it's about 6 years, and they really want her to show up, or else they're going to kind of like stop inviting her, kind of thing, because she's ignoring them. So she is trying to get home for Christmas, and her husband and her are traveling through France at some hotels, and he is just a whiny guy. Sorry. Oh, my throat. He clearly doesn't want to go. He's very much not want to hang out with her family. I'm not sure why. And she is very obliging, but she is like, we're going. And then it's their misadventure at the hotel. And that is kind of where I had trouble. Again, it was fine. But first of all, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be Christmas at Thompson Hall. I thought they were going to be the family, and she gets there. The first chapter was fine. I didn't mind that. Second chapter, her adventure was kind of weird. Third chapter was seriously hard for me to get through. I almost DNF'd it through that, and it was the start of the fourth chapter. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I just don't care. So anyway, I still have this really pretty book that, yes, I just bought, but oh well. I don't know if I'll read the other Christmas stories. Maybe they'll be in further years of Dickens December. I just didn't like that one. So I didn't finish it. I've gotten to the point where even though I had 22 pages to read, I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I can't do that. And I've just put it down, and I'll put it on my shelf, and maybe I'll come back to it someday. I just bought that book, so I'm not going to get rid of it yet because there are a couple other stories. So we'll see. And then I have a book that I've been trying to read for the last month and a half, about a month and a half, almost a month and a half now, and I'm just not sure what I want to do about this. And that is The Widow of Rose House by Diane Biller. I keep trying to read this, and I keep reading 20-30 pages at a pop once a week, and then I just go, I can't read anymore. I read another 30 pages yesterday through the best scene I've had so far, because it was the sexy scene. And then, right away, it goes, I don't know, there's something about this. So we're following Alva in 1875. She has just returned from living in Europe for 10 years. Her and her husband had a bad marriage, and he passed away a couple years before he was murdered. I mean, she's not related to that, but she has a really horrible brother-in-law who's blackmailing her pretty much. And she was pretty much, her husband had dragged her through the paper saying she was doing all these bad things because she left him because he was abusive. Okay, so she has this really hard backstory, which is hard for me because, again, it's like everything is wrong. Like, it's so hard to read that. But then she meets Sam, who is a scientist, really well-known scientist, and he wants to investigate a house that she's bought that she wants to renovate, this mansion outside on the Hudson, outside of the city on the Hudson River, where she wants to renovate it and write a book about how to decorate your house and make it show that it's, even though it's a really fancy or a nice looking house, you can do it on the cheap, and how you can do it well for just normal houses. So she's looking at kind of like more towards the middle class who might have some money to spend on that kind of a book. I don't know. Anyway, so she has this plan, but there's a ghost in the house that she's trying to take over. The construction guys won't come to it. So anyway, okay, I've kind of explained probably maybe too much about this. Except that this is what the problem is that she has so much backstory. But I love the part about Sam and the mansion. And I mean, again, he's attracted to her. She's an attractive woman, you know, and everything. And, you know, I like the sparks between them. I like the romance part of this. That's not my problem. My problem is her backstory is just so, there's just so much, and it just drags me. And I've read a lot of books that have people who have bad backstories, and even another book that I'm reading is just, there are things that they've done in their past I don't like, but it's not all her fault. It's just, I kind of feel like the author overloaded how traumatic things happened in her life before. I believe that those kind of things happen. That's not what I meant. I just meant it's really hard to read. I still like the character. I just don't like how she's been treated by other people. I guess that's another thing, is I feel sorry for her. And it's making the reading hard. I don't know if I explain this right. And it's not written badly at all. That's not also what I'm not saying. It's just, I don't know if it's a book for me. The problem is I really love Sam. Sam is one of the best male characters I've read this year. Like, he's just a cinnamon bun. I want him. Like, he's just so, like, I want him to be happy. Like, that's what I mean. I just want him, I want to see his story, and I want to see him going after this ghost, and or whatever phenomenon is happening. We don't really quite know. It's kind of sketchy, or we're not sure yet. I don't know. I don't know. So I've gotten 180 pages in at about 340. So I'm over halfway now, but I'm just not sure. Like, I just rolled my eyes on the next scene that happened. I'm like, what? Like, after all this good stuff, then it was a scene right away. I'm like, I don't know. And so I don't know about this one. So again, it's not a DNF yet. I'm still thinking about it, but I do this like every week. I go, let me give it one more chance. I don't know why I keep giving this one so much. I think it's just because I love Sam, and I love the idea of the ghost story in here. It's just all of Alva's stuff. I mean, again, I just think the author poured too much on her, and it's just hard for me to get through that. I don't know. We'll see. As I said, my reading is really weird right now, so I'm not forcing anything. So again, this book might end up on my cart, my new cart, that has all the books that I've started and I don't want to DNF, I just want a soft DNF, or, you know, I put off for now or put on hold. This might end up on there, just as a heads up. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just have a really weird thing with this book. A book that I picked up on a whim is I started listening to Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. This one is narrated by Jonathan Pryce, the actor. So it's really good. I really am enjoying that. Again, this is another book exactly like The Widow of Rose Hill, where I am so upset about what happens to the character that I had to put it down. So I got 123 pages in. So I'm about a quarter of the way through. Almost, not quite. And so, of course, this is the story of Oliver Twist. I don't even know what year. 1837 to 39 it was serialized. So again, this is one of his early novels. I'm trying to read more Dickens. I've only read a few of the novels, and I've always wanted to read more of him, so I've collected quite a few of them. I was supposed to read this sometime this year, and I didn't read it for October. I just didn't feel like it. So on a whim, I picked it up this week, which is how my reading's going. And I did get into it really quickly. That's not the problem. Again, we follow Oliver from birth on, and it just seems every time he gets into he has a lot of bad situations, don't get me wrong, like just the horrible things he goes through, and then I think, okay, he's gonna have a good period where some good things are gonna happen, and then like right away he's pulled back in, and I just had to put it down at that point because it just happened, and I'm just like, what? I was so upsetting. And it technically was this after this scene. Anyway, I'm really, like, I enjoy it. I will come back to this. It's not like I put it down I just need a couple days off, which is why I listened to Howl's Moving Castle instead for a couple days. I will try again to start this week, and maybe I'll get another 100 pages done, and then I'll set it down and listen to something else, because I have quite a few library audiobooks coming through at some point if I feel like listening to them. So anyway, so I am enjoying the Dickens. I didn't get to any Dickens this year, really. I feel bad that I didn't read any of the novels, because that was my plan, is to at least read one. So I'm trying to get the one done that I planned to read this year. So we'll see if I get it done by the end of the year. It's not like I have to. It's just more of, I've started it now. I'm into it. I will listen to that. And then, so the book I'm going to finish today is Ilona Andrews' let's see here, Iron and Magic. It's the first book in the Iron Covenant series. So this is a spin-off from the Kate Daniels series. It comes in at 9.5 in the series if you read the Kate Daniels series. So again, you don't have to read this, but again, we're trying to read So Tia and I have been reading the Kate Daniels series all year. We are trying to finish out these last couple books in December, so we have it all done that's been released. We read a lot of the side books that have like a book that like starts in a series that, or is like it's like some parts of the world that Kate is not in, the main character. So these ones are like following a character that we know and one that we didn't know, and we kind of go to where they are. Supposedly this is supposed to be a 3-book series, like a trilogy, and they've only written the first book. I think I heard from somebody else on BookTube somewhere that they said that they're having trouble writing the second one because it's so dark, which I can kind of see after reading this. So again, I am almost to the end. I just have today's reading to do. I don't want to tell too much because it would spoil too much of the Kate Daniels series, so I'm just going to say that this is much darker than some of the other ones. These are very unlikable characters compared to her other books. They're not very, there are characters I disliked in them, but they're usually the antagonists at the time or whatever. I think what Ilona Andrews, and again, there's a husband and wife team who write these, they do really well as making people, or even the ones who are villains, it's not all black and white. They are very much gray. There are certain things where you understand why they made those decisions and why they think that's the best way, even though it looks like they're the bad guy from our main character's point of view. And it makes sense, but it also shows that, even though they may look like evil and stuff, there is some good in them on certain things. It may not be always. So this book is a little harder to read, I think. I would know going into it that it is not the same tone-wise as the Kate Daniels books. I think these it still reads really easily, and it's not bad that way in anything. You just have to know they are unlikable characters, and you're not gonna like them most of the way, at least so far. As I said, I'm 80% in, so it's not like I've read quite a bit of this, so and I've made it through that far, and I do want to see where this goes, because I'm figuring something here is going to affect book 10, which is the last book in the Kate Daniels series and in the main series. So I do want to know how this will connect, and then I'm hoping they will come out with more, even though, again, I still have 20 more pages, 60 more pages. but I already see things in here that could go on that I want to see how that will mature into the other books. But I guess, as I said, I don't think there's a release date for the next book in this series. I hope they do it just because I think there's potential here. Even though I do not like unlikable characters on the most part, I think they're, again, as I said, they're just enough good in them that I'm able to handle this, although I roll my eyes quite a bit. Anyway, so we're gonna finish this today. I'm going to finish this today because that's what we planned. So that's my thing I'm going to read today. And then and again, I've been reading that since the 1st. So we did it 5 days. And so I've, as I said, I've been reading that every day. And then the one I picked up last night on a whim is my first Christmas, well, not my first Christmas book. It was a book that I wasn't sure I was going to read this year. Anyway, for Christmas. I mean, I knew I was going to do the Dickens, that read along. Never mind. Anyway, the one is A Holiday by Gaslight by Mimi Matthews. So again, I saw this on Tia's channel. I don't know, was that last year or the year before? I don't remember what year. I bought this on ebook at some point, and I meant to read it. And again, I don't usually read seasonally, but again, Christmas books, yeah, you read it at Christmas time. Anyway, so this is a Victorian set story where we're following Sophie, who is engaged to Ned Sharp, and he is a businessman, and she is a member of more the gentry or whatever. Her dad has a title and stuff, and so she is engaged to him, but they are courting for like 2 months. Not engaged to him, they're courting. Sorry. And she finally got fed up, and she's just like, he never talks to her. Like, she's chatting the whole time they're together, but he never says anything. So she finally says, okay, I don't think this is going to work. We obviously don't suit. We don't talk, and I don't want to go through this. And so it kind of is the fallout of what happens when she makes that decision with her family, and then with Ned, how he feels, and we get his perspective too, which is great. I like the back and forth perspective. And then it comes to where they kind of do a second chance at this courtship, as a Christmas party is being put on at her parents' home in the country, and he and his family is invited with a lot of other people. But I meant it's mostly so that they can decide if they do want to continue the courtship, or, I mean, even though she tried to stop it, but they decided to be honest with each other and actually talk to each other. So again, I like this. I really am enjoying it so far. I'm a little over halfway. So I'm expecting to finish this also today. Last night I could have finished this if I didn't watch Howl's Moving Castle, but that was more what I wanted to do. So anyway, but I will probably finish this today. I'm really enjoying it. It's my first Mimi Matthews novel, and so far I'm really impressed with the writing and how I feel about the characters. So I can totally see I might pick up another book by her. So if you have a recommendation, let me know. But anyway, I'm hoping I'll finish that up. Just flashing it on the screen here, Brothers of the Wind. I am still planning to read this. I just don't know if it's going to be this week. Again, it's one of those books that's kind of on hold for me. And then what I think I'm going to read in the next week, again, the Dickens December read along. The next book that we're reading is The Lazy Tour of Two Idle Apprentices by Charles Dickens and Wilkie Collins. So I bought this, I think last year or earlier this year. I don't remember. So this has to do, I think, with two men. I mean, again, Charles Dickens and Wilkie Collins are writing it under pseudonyms, and they go on a walking tour of Northwest England, and they wrote it in, they put it in Dickens' household words. Yeah. So as I said, so I think there's like 5 chapters. I think that's what it is, or something like that. I think we're reading it. Yeah, I think it's like 5 chapters. So it's like, I think we're reading this, or maybe 6 chapters. I don't remember. I think we read it from Monday to Saturday, or Monday to Friday. One of the two. I don't remember. It's only 100 pages. It's really short. It's one I already owned. So that's great. I'm going to finish. So I'll read that. I don't know. Again, it's another Dickens, another Wilkie Collins. I'm good with that. So hopefully I'll get along better with that one. And then the only other book that I might pick up, because it's a library book and it's due back in next week, so I need to either decide if I'm going to read it or not, and that is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsky. And this is a Edwardian, like, magical romance, murder mystery madness, I'm not sure. So I only read the first chapter, or the prologue, last night, just to try the writing style to see if I liked. Yeah, I read chapter 1. So right away you can tell that there's magic in the world. You can tell that somebody's killing other people for something, we don't know what it is. And then the next chapter we're going to be introduced to our main character. What's his name? Robin Bly. And I think he is like an ordinary man who gets kind of, who works for the government. And I think then he gets a government job that has something to do with magic, and he has no idea what he's doing. And then he's going to meet this other guy, which I don't know who that is yet. And I think there's a romance, there's mystery, magic. And I think it's it was an Edwardian mystery or time period. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, we'll see what happens. At least I thought it was the time period. It's close to there. I'm not sure. It's either that or late Victorian. I can't remember. Anyway, right off the top of my head. So anyway, this is one I'm probably going to try to read if I feel like it. I might just read a little bit more and then decide I'll buy the paperback later. Because again, right now, hardback books kind of hurt my hands. So we'll see. So this is the possibility. I do have some other romances on. For some reason, I'm in a romance mood, I think. So I might pick up a paranormal, or I might pick up another kind of romance of some sort. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So this is, since I have this that has to go back next week, I might as well give it a shot. And again, it's about over like 360 pages. So it would be good to get that done. If not, as I said, I'll test it to see, read a little bit more to decide if I want to wait till paperback comes out or whatever. We'll see. So anyway, that's a long update. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a really weird week. I have not been showing my my November thing for this, just because it's been kind of hard to. I don't know. It's just been hard to do stuff. The only thing I finished was an ebook and a classic, that Elizabeth Gaskell, for this week. I've been keeping track of this stuff. I just haven't shown you. So you can see that I've gotten a couple things in, you know. Didn't I read a 500-page book? I did. I forgot to mark that one last week. So, yeah, big books did not happen this year. Anyway, so I will probably clear this off and put, I just had to reread so far, so it's going to be clear off right now. But anyway, as I said, I didn't do as good with nonfiction November. I was hoping for more. That didn't work. Read a couple ebooks. I reread a lot. I'm doing good on my series. And then again, I've DNF'd some stuff. Anyway, so, well, yeah, it's not as well off as I was hoping this year. Anyway, we'll just let that go. Anyway, what are you guys reading? How is your guys reading? Hope your guys are not as stressed out as I am right now. As I said, we'll see what I read. I have no idea. As I said, I'm going to finish the 2 books I'm almost done with. And then we'll see what I pick up after that. I have, again, many options and stuff. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.